of the questions that often comes up is what happens in a building inspection and exactly what does a building inspector do? Well, we're here today at a house with Kerry Smith. Kerry is with Inspectech. We're going to go through what he does in a building inspection so you get a good idea of what happens. So thanks, Kerry.
Thank you, Tony. Quite remarkable at the end of a sober, quiet review of a building, 2.5, 3 hours, how much you can really learn in just a regular real estate building inspection and really find out what makes the thing tick and of course report that information to the buyer.
And this is the point, because we always recommend that buyers get building inspections done because we are not qualified as real estate agents. Buyers rarely are qualified to be able to look around, right? Where you get somebody like Kerry who has done thousands of these, you probably lost count at this point, and you know what to look out for.
Absolutely, we do. 20,000 plus inspections.
Okay. So now one of the things is, as a building inspector, you generally go through the house on your own. Now I know that consumers often ask you to follow you during inspection, and is that practical?
Well, it's an understandable question because people want to learn about the house, and at first blush you think, well, I'll just follow along and talk to the inspector and find out about things. But the inspector's trying to focus, trying to do his job, and it's pretty difficult to pay 100% attention to the house and carry on a conversation at the same time. So we really do like to be just left on our own, do our work. Once we've got it figured out, then we have the question and answer in the presentation.
And I always
of the
say
buyer.
to people too is that, you know, as much as you want to know what that roof looks like, you are not allowed up on that roof. You, however, can go on the roof for insurance purposes, into attics, into crawl spaces. A buyer is not, you know,
it's
allowed
really
in those,
appropriate.
in spots.
Because of the obvious risk.
All right, well, let's show everyone what a building inspection is like.
Absolutely, Tony.
Okay.
Have at her.
So you just finalized or finished your time around the house here, and typically what's the next step with a buyer?
Well, once I've done my review and prepared the written report, then it's time to have the buyer come in and we show them the inspection results. And that's done by a kind of a PowerPoint presentation where all the photographs that I took during the inspection are displayed and they illustrate, of course, whatever the issues are.
So now you've got some tools. You got
Yes,
some
we do.
tools here, so let's have a look at what you got. Yeah.
The jewel in the collection, of course, is our infrared scanner. And we can take a little picture of Tony. Yeah, Tony's still alive. He's
warm.
He's still warm.
Yeah. And this is great because this helps you look through walls, more or less, right?
It really does. Yeah. What an infrared scanner does is it converts temperature into a visual image. So something that's warm will appear orange in the image, and something that's cool will appear purple. So we can look at the wall, for example, and we'll see the lines that indicate the wall studs, and whether they're purple or orange, or whether the space between the studs is purple or orange, tells us whether there's insulation in the wall or not. If there were a carpenter ant's nest in a wall assembly somewhere, or termite's nest, or a dead animal, their activity, or the decomposing little body, will give off a little temperature, just enough for this device to actually pick it up.
Well, it's handy because then you don't need to cut into the wall.
No.
And you've got our meter right here.
And here's this other little device, which is a life safety item. This red box actually senses natural gas leaks. So I can check all the piping, the pilot assembly, the main gas meter, the fittings, and find out if there's any natural gas leaks that are so small that the human sense couldn't find them. So we have a gas sniffer that we check all the devices with, including the boiler.
And you've got a moisture meter here too.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And that comes in very handy when we're looking at plumbing installations because, of course, everyone's concerned about the plumbing leak. And particularly shower areas tend to be the most common area of finding a moisture problem, where the tile grouting is letting some water out. So we can test all the tiling around the windows, around the plumbing fixtures, and make sure there's no moisture ingress or leakage that could be a problem, which is great.
So, I mean, the fact is you go through a lot in an inspection. And this is really very few people have the ability to identify issues or things. This is the reason why you're here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, Tony. It seems like it's just a walk in the park, but it actually is pretty hard work inspecting these buildings because you have to be right 100% of the time, and if you want to be right, you have to do the homework.
So the other neat thing that makes Kerry a little different is in his van, he has an office, so that as he's doing the building inspection, the report is actually completed by the time the buyer comes here.
That's correct.
No waiting.
No waiting. When I'm going through the building, I actually have a little walkie-talkie and a microphone, and I have an office and a secretary in my van, so I communicate the inspection results to her simultaneously. She types up the report at the same time. And of course, like I always say, my cheesy line, if the job's being done correctly, there's a woman involved somewhere.
This is great. And again, for anyone who's watching, if you've been wondering about what happens in a building inspection, here you go. This is just an example. Every house is different. Right?
Absolutely, Tony.
And every result is different. And there are some houses that don't pass muster, right?
It happens. Every house has something. The real baseline for me when I'm doing these inspections, the one that I think I want to make sure I achieve, is that the homeowner has no surprises when they get possession of the house. Of course, they don't expect it's going to be perfect, but the idea is to at least a heads up that this hot water tank's getting tired. It might start to leak.
Well, and this is the thing. Like, for instance, this is a 60-year-old house, right? And it will have different issues than a house that's brand new or close to new.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, if you need a building inspection, or if you know somebody who needs a building inspection done, we're going to put Kerry's information just on the bottom of the video here. Feel free to give him a call anytime. Thanks for watching.